All right, y'all. First and foremost, give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and his son, the Hamashiach, who some call Yahushua, Yeshua, Yehoshua. We mostly know as Jesus Christ. Welcome back to the dirty sector of YouTube. Welcome, welcome. Give yourselves a hand. Anyway, RingoTV, Nubreed. These things are coming to. Seems like things are wrapping up, and we just getting like repetitive information. But I've seen some things, man, that kind of. I ain't gonna say they're disturbing, but it's just I'm starting to learn things about people, and that's one of the traits that I have, is that I can read people, man, because I've been around so many people. I've dialogued with so many people just within certain jobs and certain other miscellaneous things I don't want to talk about. You have to be quick to read people and discern what kind of individuals. And I've come to learn there's only about 15 different personalities. You know, I've met Ringo before. Me and him never met, but I've met someone with his exact personality trait. I've met someone, Nubreed. I've met someone just like Nubreed. Nubreed seemed like he might have went to, if he from Atlanta, he probably went to somewhere like Snellville. He probably was somewhere around Snellville, Buford. I could tell by the way he wears his hat. Maybe somewhere around Buford or Snellville-ish kind of area, Duluth somewhere. And then they brought me up too. And then, you know, the brother seems to have a meek spirit, but he's kind of naive to a lot of things too. You know, he's kind of naive to a lot of things. And this would make him jump into that assumption of thinking that he was finna get paid $3,500 instead of just, you know, thinking that thing out. Just think it out, man. People, you know, people ain't just not, man. People just ain't giving away no bread, bro. Just not giving away no money. I don't care how rich they are. A lot of people ain't just giving away no money, especially if he could have just paid somebody. If he telling you, man, I don't want to pay these people, and I ain't trying to, man, these folks trying to rob me, man, you know, we might as well do it, man. You know, that right there should have rung an alarm. Like, you know what? This ain't a situation this finna be a laborious situation. It's finna be a lot of long suffering involved in this. And you know, this ain't a come up. And I think that's how he took that it was a come up. And I think, you know, even though Ringo is out here, you know, seemed like he being a bully and just, you know, taking advantage and kind of manipulating Nubreed to do certain things and so forth. It's out of pain. He, you know, even though, no, brother, man, I don't need nobody, man. I don't need no friends. He wants some friends. And he thought Nubreed was going to be a friend. And it hurt him. It hurt him when the brother said, you know, when the brother asked for the money the first time, then he sent him 1,000, but then the brother asked for more money. And it took something for him to send that 1,000. It ate at him. It took a chunk out of him to send that $1,000. It wasn't no, oh man, I just wanted to test the brother. Nah, it hurt him. He was trying to save it. He wanted to end it, but he was trying to save it. Like, man, I know this. I know he ain't do me like that. And I think he's also, so I think he's speaking from pain. I think, you know, Nubreed did hurt his feelings. I think he has the OCD, you know, he's image driven. So if, you know, he don't want to look a certain way on camera. So he's not finna let you, you know, he's not finna let you ruin his character. That's very important to him. Vital to him. Him, Pastor Dowell also. Very vital to them. That's why they want to be seen doing great things. They never want to be seen in a bad light. And when they're seen in a bad light, they kind of overreact to it. It's like, it's YouTube. Man, if I get to 100,000 views, you just got to expect people to make videos about you and put thumbnails about. First time I seen somebody put a thumbnail about me, I think it was a GMS video recently. It was one of the first people ever put a thumbnail, and I just laughed at it, man. You know, because I do it. That's what this is. But I don't care. I don't have to get a fresh haircut or have my braids done. Look at my shirt. I make shirts. Look at that. Look how terrible that shirt is. And I make shirts. I make these for a living. I make them for a living. But I don't have to go get dressed up and to come out here and talk to y'all. Like I really focus on the message. I should be doing that. Maybe I get more viewers. Maybe, you know, it's just, you know, it's just hard enough to just even get up here to do it, to even get the time to do it, let alone trying to wait till, you know, I'm presentable and edge myself up. I cut hair also. I can go in there, get the clippers and trim myself every time and so forth. And again, maybe it'll be better. Maybe you get more numbers. But just at the moment right now, you know, I'm not studying that, man. I was raised by a single father. You know, there are some things that I'm missing in that. You need both sides. But I was raised by a single father. Ringo, like I say, OCD, gotta keep his image up. I told you he was cutting that grass. He had to cut that grass. It was bothering him. I think he looked at that. It's like, bother, man. I gotta get that grass cut, man. And get everything right. He want everything set up, everything right. Before he's not gonna do videos with that studio. Like me, I would have been unwrapping that stuff, had that little paper everywhere, had at least got my chair and my table set up. He ain't like that. He not gonna be in there till it's completely set. You know, nah, we got to get it completely right. And then we'll start filming in there. But he been manipulated in Nubreed. You know, Nubreed, you just need to pull out of there, man. You need to just stop dealing, you know, when he did he made this video. Here, I'm gonna show y'all this clip real quick.
It's been 2 months and you've missed all of your doctor's appointments. So I'm trying to figure out, what about your judgment? You see, Nubreed, I understand your concern, but making an entire live show, trying to defend your honor because of the wife you chose, it is very clear and evident that the daughters of Zion have spoken. And you feel some type of way. So you're trying to use scripture the wrong way. Let's read what the Bible says.
And why that was important to me is because when he said that, it was one point where Ringo said that he used a video. He said in the video, I'm gonna interview my wife. He said in the video, I didn't trust his wife. I don't trust her. In the interview, he did the video and talking about that he was gonna interview his wife, and then what's his name? Nubreed goes back and does a video interviewing his wife. And Ringo said that so he could interview his wife, so he could show us that Nubreed's wife is a little light skinned. Now I couldn't see if she was Caucasian. I couldn't. I don't know, but she's a little light skinned. And if you're gonna be a black leader, it could be problematic if your wife is a little light skinned. It could be problematic if your wife is a little light skinned. If you like some black power, black movement, we need to stick together and we the chosen ones, and you know, and we need to get away from this system, and the white man's the enemy. If you pushing that, you know, it's problematic if you're and vice versa. If you was white and you was with the good old boys or the Proud Boys, and you was a leader in the Proud Boys, and your wife was a little dark, it's gonna be some problems. It's gonna be problematic. And the same thing on the other end. But he wanted you to show your wife, Nubreed, so that he can show that his wife is a little light skinned. He been thinking about that the first time he met you. Maybe he didn't meet your wife the first time. But as soon as he seen your wife, he like, wait a minute, she a little light skinned. She a little light skinned. I wonder if the people know that his wife is a little light skinned. And again, I had this other video that I was gonna put up here. I may go ahead and give it to y'all about being a little light skinned and we don't know. About being a little light skinned, we don't know who's.
Have y'all seen?
Hold on. We don't know who's light skinned and who's not, and so forth. Well, you really don't. You don't really know. You know what I'm saying? But it's still not the best of looks when she's a little light skinned and you're a black power, black leader, and you're trying to lead the black people and you're trying to be a Moses and get us out of the system and so forth. It don't look good. But the reason for me saying that is that he played on that. Ringo petty, man. He played on that. He played on that and tried to use that against you. And then the fact that every time you do a live, he doing a live. To try to snatch off, to try to hurt your bread a little bit. And that's how, people would try to say, well, he acting like, I seen one brother saying he acting like a Jezebel. But it's pain, man. Brothers got disappointed. Brothers put brothers in certain areas on both ends. And they got disappointed, man. It just really wasn't that. But I will let y'all see this video. We'll watch it. It's about this this sister that, was a little light. And her mama was a little light. And her mama had a little secret. Let's watch this here.
Hold on.
Secret her mother, a grandfather she had never met, and a family history that she never suspected. Gail Lukasik could not have predicted what she would discover when she decided to dig into her mother's mysterious past.
Y'all not gonna believe this. I did not believe
This is
it.
my mom and dad. And as far as I know, my father went to his grave never knowing my mom's secret. My parents met during World War II. My mom was an absolutely stunningly beautiful woman.
She's a little light skinned.
My dad, he had a great sense
And she a little light skinned.
of humor. He served in the Pacific. He was very proud of that.
In 1944, after the war, Harold Kalina married Alvera Frederick. They settled in a working-class neighborhood in Parma, Ohio. In 1946, their daughter Gail was born. Throughout her childhood, Gail says her mother mystified her in some ways.
She was very meticulous about her makeup. She would wear a light foundation makeup to bed at night, which I thought was a little strange. She would never go out in the sun unless she had a
She would wear a white foundation at bed at night. She would never go out in the sun.
wide brim hat. She would cover her hands with gloves. Really didn't like to be in the sun.
But Gail says the biggest mystery was her mother's selective memory when talking about her own father, Azimar.
She a little light skinned. Both of them a little light skinned. You can't tell.
Frederick. I said, Mom, when was he born? When did he die? Oh, I don't know. I can't remember.
Growing up, Gail never saw one photo of her grandfather. Finally, in 1995, when she was 48, she decided to search for his identity, combing through microfilm.
At first, I couldn't find him. Then I put in the 1900 Louisiana census records, and suddenly I see the name Azimah Frederick.
Here it goes.
Fredericks in the same household. Then I noticed something else very curious. Next to all their names is the letter B. So go to the head of that column to see what it stands for, and it says race. So I thought, B, does that mean black?
Gail wanted to confront her mother, but first she reached out to the state of Louisiana, requesting her mother's birth certificate.
I pretended I was my mother and I had lost my birth certificate. I opened that birth certificate and there in parentheses were 3 letters, COL. So I wrote to the state again and said, my birth certificate said COL, which
Lord,
please explain
Lord,
to me
Lord.
what that means. They sent me a very official letter back and they said, COL is for colored.
You're one of
I
us.
just was speechless.
You're one of the
I didn't know.
elites.
My mother knew, but I'm thinking, how could she not?
And you heard what she said. So she sounded like she might follow Nubreed and Ringo. You know that you're one of the elites. You're one of the elects.
Know this, and why has she never said anything
You're a chosen one.
to me?
Lord.
We're joined now by Gail Lukasik, who has written about her mother's secret past in a new book, White Like Her. Welcome, Gail.
Thank you very much.
Great to see you here. So, you did finally work up the nerve to ask your mother about this birth certificate. It took you 2 years, but you finally sat down with her. You knew it had to be face to face.
Yes, it had to be. This is not a conversation you have on the telephone.
Oh, no, ma'am.
Yeah.
And you asked her why she's listed as, quote, colored on the birth certificate.
I did. I told her I found her birth certificate. It said colored. And she became very indignant with me. And she said, I don't know what birth certificate you have, but mine says I'm white. So I thought, well, wait a minute. So I said, Mom, I have some other documents that I could show you. The census records, your father's listed as black. And I have a letter from the state of Louisiana saying that COL means colored.
Creole.
Well, she got very quiet. And she's sitting in this large chair, and it almost seemed like the chair was swallowing her because she got very small. And she looked at me and she said, you have to promise me you will never tell anyone until after I die.
Because what in the world?
Yep, don't tell nobody. I'm gonna be white till I die. I'm gonna be a little white till I die. But you know, who's doing all this to say, man, Ringo used that, tried to use his wife being a little light, to expose that to his audience, thinking that will hurt him, you know, and it might have, you know. And I was wondering, you know, when I first seen him, by the time I first seen him, he already had over 100,000 viewers. I'm like, where, you know? And he's teaching. When I see people teaching camp doctrine, I wonder, like, why ain't they never been in the camps? Like, what camp did he come from? What camp is he from? And then why does he have this disdain for the camps when he's teaching camp doctrine? And maybe that was why. You know, maybe that was why. Maybe, you know, he had the mixed rib and he didn't want to, or he had the rib that was a little light skinned, that he didn't even want to try to have them conversations with camps, because that does happen, man. That does happen. We had a brother and his rib was a little light skinned and she was just trying to prove it and show me documents and all of this stuff. And man, you know, I didn't care, man. We don't care. And especially now with, you know, me understanding salvation is for everyone. I still believe Israel should be with their nation. But if you're married already, I'm not the one to tell you. I'm not gonna tell you to leave your rib. She a heathen, and I'm not gonna do that. You know, I'm not gonna do that. You made that lock, you made that covenant with her. That's it, man. That's it. You don't get to throw away because, except for fornication, man. And that's how I would play that out. But these are some of the things that, you know, that we have to deal with certain doctrines that we out here pushing. But I do believe that Israelites should are to marry Israelites. I believe it is a sin to go date outside as an Israelite dating outside of those 12 tribes, whoever you say they are. And that's the problem with even trying to abstain and hold that. You know, you're going to have to figure out who the 12 tribes are. You're going to have this impeccable data of who the 12 tribes are. And I don't believe nobody has the absolute truth on that, man. We were scattered throughout the regions, throughout the four corners of the earth. And you can be given a judgment on a situation that we just seen with the sister being a little light-skinned, but found out that her mother was colored. Her granddaddy was a colored man, and her mama been denying that she was colored her whole life. She wanted to live the soft life, wanted to live the light-skinned life, which I don't think I can blame her back in those days. But Nubreed, you're gonna have to you know what, I don't know what you're gonna have to do, brother. I'm gonna be honest with you, but don't let him manipulate you. Don't let him manipulate you into your content or to stop making content. And you're gonna have to just ignore him. You're gonna have to ignore him and move on, man. Or y'all just have to sit down. You know, that's what you should do. Y'all should come together, have the sit down. Have the sit down live. Y'all have the little, y'all dap each other up. So, nobody loses their audience. Everybody kind of, and y'all just throw in the white flag. Say, hey, man, we gonna stop this. All right, we ain't finna attack each other no more. We got it out. We had to talk. Do like y'all did with the other video when y'all was down there in North Carolina. Going back to the land. Y'all going back to the land, man, and settle that thing. Because your viewers are they stressed out about it. And you're making your viewers choose side when y'all both kind of in the same lane. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I had for this one, man. I think Ak is a little OCD. I think he is talking from a level of hurt, a level of pain. Nubreed, you hurt him more than you think you hurt him. And a lot of the antics and things that he's doing now is really a cover for that. Really a cover for that insecurity. That he let somebody that close in again to hurt him. He does want friendship. He does want people around, etc. And Nubreed, man, you thought it was a play. You thought you had to come up. This is what it is, man. You shouldn't have threw the stuff out there with my wife's feet got swole up to try to make him, make the situation look like he kind of got over on you or whatever. You walked away with a band. Hey, man, y'all come in and y'all gonna have to do a video together to rectify it. Or, y'all keep sitting up here and doing these videos. And like I say, that bitterness, and I do another lesson on that, on bitterness, but just the fact that somebody's getting a reaction. Every video that Nubreed does, it's affecting you, Ringo. Every video he does gets you, it makes you emotional. It rouses up your flesh every time. And that's because you're going to have to forgive him. And until you forgive that brother, that's what's going to happen. Every time the notification hit your screen about Nubreed doing a video, you're going to feel like it's about you. And you're going to build up some animosity, and it's going to boil inside, and you're going to have to make another video explaining, that you did not say that you was going to give him any money and that you called him as a brother. You're going to go back to that. So, y'all forgive each other, man. Let these things go. Reconcile. And understand that these things are going to happen, man. Growing up, man, me and all my friends, we fought, man. we fought each other, and then we made up the next day. And then we were friends the next day. But we all had disagreements. We all had certain things that we did amongst each other that was a little foul. And, you know, we had a little scrap and settled those things. And then, you know, when we grow up now, we still have that certain relationship. We know how to operate amongst each other. We know the do's and don'ts and so forth. And you got to prove a friend. You just can't, you know, don't be quick to lay hands on somebody. That's a lot of y'all problem too, man. This internet, listen, man, this stuff ain't real, man. You don't know somebody till you know somebody. All right. With that, I say shalom. Y'all be blessed. We'll see you on the next one. Make sure y'all like, subscribe.